Hello, good evening. Tiago Reis. It is evident that there is a bitter, sweet taste or sour taste with this draw. There is a feeling that we could keep shooting the ball, but that it won't see the back of the net. And we're all wondering about Vini's substitution. Was it your decision? Did he ask to go out? Vini Júnior is one of our greatest hopes in the attack. Well, we tried as a winger, as a wingback. We were not finding the way, so we were trying to find a solution. That is why we made a replacement. The team was well structured, and to win the second balls, we were increasing the level of the game and the volume of the play, and we had to change some pieces. We thought about different alternatives and created different opportunities, and we were not able to achieve the finishing. And I think it was a well-contested match. Unfortunately, from the outer bands to the inside, we had some difficulties. We created great opportunities. There was a good flow of passes, but we were not able to achieve the scoring. But I think that we did show very positive elements. These are how the matches evolve. We have to find solutions, and our work will be directed in that sense. This is only natural. Of course, when there are no positive outcomes, there are many challenges to what we do, but I know what we have been working on and of all our efforts. Dorival, Leandro Quesada. Besides the poor execution in scoring or the lack of finishing, we struggled to see the back of the net, but I think the best attempt was the hit on the goalpost by Paquetá that then bounced back in the goalkeeper's back, and it did not go in. It was not put away. That was Brazil's best chance. Don't you think there was a lack of improvisation, or that is something good in the case of Brazil, that everyone against Brazil has a backline of 5-4-3, they close the spaces, but why did the players why didn't they break away? They tried to go vertically. Well, I will answer in general. I think that happened. Many points we had a 1v1. We had a great flow with the ball. We made them go to the box, and if we take a look at the marking, the marking was very fast, and it is normal because this is a smaller pitch vertically and horizontally, and that affects the defense and makes the attack more difficult. It facilitates defending, and it difficults attacking. So double marking happens easier, and when Vini had the ball, he had two marks on and a third one that was approaching, and Rafinha suffered the same. It was Savinho had a good moment. Rafinha was able to attack in depth, but there was one detail that was missing, the finishing, but they all had opportunities. The defense stood well, and we went through the inside, the outside. We passed the ball, and we shifted direction of the game. And it is natural that when you have this type of fast marking, it gets
Profesor
more
Amado,
complicated.
¿qué considera que fue lo que más o lo principal que hizo Costa Rica para poder detener al equipo? Alfaro hablaba de la doble marca, la que usted también
What
hablaba, pero ¿qué cree
did
que fue el
Costa Rica
punto
do
clave
to
o lo
block
principal que le
or to
sorprendió a usted
annul
y al
your
equipo
team
en
the
el
best?
juego de la
Alfaro was talking
selección
about the
de Costa
double
Rica? Y
marking,
lo
as
otro,
you
¿cómo evalúa la entrada
mentioned,
de
but
Hendrik por Vinicius en ese momento
what surprised
cortito?
you, and how do you assess
¿Cómo
the
evalúa
Hendrix
rápido en dos palabras lo de Hendrik en esos minutos
in
contra
two
un
words? How do
representante
you
que es reemplazar a
assess
Vinicius?
Hendrix substitution for Vinicius?
Eu acho que, de um modo geral, a entrada ela vai muito pelo momento das partidas. E nós precisávamos de preenchimento de área, homem mais dentro de área.
I think that when they go in, it depends on the moment on the match, and we needed a player with Hendrix traits, and we were seeing that we needed to work more on the box, and the ball was contested there. We could see that there were mid-range balls getting there, crossed balls, and we had clear opportunities to execute. But today, we did not achieve our expected outcomes, and they were very clear on their game plan, even with all the substitutions and alternatives we used, and they were heavy on the marking. As we mentioned, the double marking was happening everywhere on the pitch, and well, we created many opportunities. Maybe we were not the best in our finishing, but Brazil played as it trained, recovering fast balls with great consistency in the midfield that allowed for the recovery. And I think, well, we missed that very important detail. Monica Danilo for TNT Sports, you referred recently to a trend in Brazil, that Brazil is still trying to find the front. And we saw Costa Rica that was defending with 8 players within the box, and added to that the small size in the field. And I wanted to ask about the technical part and the tactical part and trying to find solutions, but also how do you work with the players for them to manage the level of anxiousness so that they can find the net and that they can overcome those difficulties when playing against a very close team, such as in the case of Vini? We need movement. We need dirty movement, the movements in the backline of our opponent, creating 3, 4, 5, 10 passes behind the last line of the opponent, and being able to open wider for that movement along the line so that we can facilitate the task of the ball carrier. And I think that was our main challenge today. We lacked through passes and these movements along the line, and there was a greater difficulty. This type of movement brings the line towards the goalkeeper, and it opens spaces so that you can play behind the line. We wanted to pass the ball, and we trained intensely on this, and that is what we call the dirty work. And it is very necessary to find spaces between opponent lines. Caro Gil from Globo, you talked about the training sessions, and I wanted to ask about it, about camp. You had 3 or more weeks. It is a lot of training time in Orlando and here as well. We don't see full trainings. We just see the warm-up or a small part. do you think that there was something missing in the match that maybe could have helped us, like set asides, like Marquinhos' goal that was for the set aside? Do you think that there's something that you could not execute today due to lack of training? Well, that thing that I mentioned, the dirty work, the attack on the back line, when you don't receive that ball, it is of the essence to spread a little bit wider. And there is an opening, and you can create opportunities. When you only work with possession and lateral passes, you lose those through passes, those vertical passes, and we lost that, and we need to find our path again. That is what we worked on the most during that time that we were together. We really demand that from the team, and it is natural that the player during the match might not find the space for that movement, but it is essential. And those moments where we could do that with Rafinha, that he would come and then take the mark and then allow for attacking to against the back line. The same thing happened with Savinho. Maybe that work was missing between the three center backs or the two center backs at times, so that we could have time to go through the center backs, the center back line in Costa Rica. I think we had a great ball recovery, and we didn't allow them to go further than 5 passes. And I think it was the work of our midfielders, our creative players on the left. We could see that there was a recovery and a repositioning towards the attack. What I saw missing today is that we forgot about, or that we didn't do that essential work that I think was very important to break the opponent's lines. Dorival, I would like to know, after this game, how the team is feeling. We have a match against Paraguay and Colombia ahead. What do you think is Brazil's situation right now? If we had won today, I would feel the same regarding the next matches. We need to do our own thing. This is how we will achieve our classification to the knockouts. That is how we'll move to the next round. Today, we did not achieve the win for some details, but we showed a great level of play, and I think that those details will help us in the next matches, and this is what we are after. Dorival Júnior, it wasn't a pleasant result, but we did play. We found every possible space, and of course, I'm learning a lot from you, from every coaching staff. But my take is that they are not shooting from the outside of the box. They're trying to shoot inside the box, and there's a lot of 1v1 when you play against Paraguay and Colombia. I think that maybe, or do you think that could be a good remedy? Well, that is what we work on daily, to provide that freedom to the players, to have that sensitivity to know if it is the time to shoot, if they have to lay it off, if they have to pass it. But they have that leeway to decide, and we have been working very hard on that during camp. We also mentioned work about breaking the lines, that is filtering work, and also, well, sometimes during matches you cannot execute it, In fact, there was one of those shots, and sometimes it looks as if you are being marked and you need to triangulate or pass the ball, and that is the best decision at that time, and it is something that we must respect. About the work volume, well, it's very important. We need to give the opportunity to the team to play and facilitate our reaching the box, and the definitions or finishings depend on each player and on their capabilities. They are very talented. Brazil is evolving. I see that there's a great level of evolution. Well, yes, it was a draw, but there were very positive aspects in our match, and I think this is getting better and better. Thank you for being part of this press conference of